Here we go. Hey everybody, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. The 120's finally clean enough and made itself into the workshop. So let's have a look and see what's going on. What's the drama going to be here, mate? Is it clean enough to come into the Prado hospital? Well, because it does need to be clean to come into the Prado hospital. If you've missed some videos and you brought your car in dirty, you better not do it again, okay? Because, you know, once, twice, third time unlucky. Yeah, see, we're trying really hard to get more work, aren't we? No, I can only help the people that want to listen and roll the way that I roll. So the vehicle's been really reliable. We just did about a 12,500 kilometre trip over the last 5 to 6 weeks and went some pretty nasty places. A lot of overgrown tracks, really hard on the paintwork and everything. And of course, we did get stuck in some bodies of water, bogged down a fair bit for a little while. So we're going to have a look around, see what damages happened from these trips, including across the Simpson Desert, up Goog's Track, stuff like that, and the southeast coast of WA, down on the south coast there. Have a bit of a look around. Compressor did let us down. If you've been watching, you've seen those videos. So that, I flicked the switch on it a couple of times. Seems to be still working, but obviously we've got to let the tyres down. We're going to do that. I'm going to see what happens because I'm just curious for myself. But I'm second guessing myself if that piston was off or not. It probably was, and that's what jammed it up, and that's probably what was blowing the fuse. But maybe there was something else going on. Maybe that didn't happen. I'm also going to go, so I'm going to continue to use it and see what happens, you know, the old suck it and see scenario. I'm not getting books out on it. I just open stuff up and figure it out, right? So that's what we're going to do. And I'm also going to pop into ARB, any ARB stores I drive nearby that I've got time, and go and talk to them till I get some answers, because if that piston's meant to be clipped on at the big end, and they didn't do it, and it's a dumb design, and then a few years later they went, oh, let's do this because that was a dumb design, then anybody that has this problem should have a free upgrade, and I'm going to talk to them about that, and there might be a whole separate video on their customer service level. Let's get this thing up on the hoist, because up here looking pretty boring and clean. Actually, let's have a look at the engine, or how much is left, because when you use, what do we use? This is what we use, so there's another answer to another question. You use 1040, and I don't have to service the vehicle because it's my vehicle, and I'm the Prado specialist, 1K DFTV, and I'll decide when it needs to be serviced. So I'm under no requirement to do any particular servicing, so I've done no services while I'm away. And when you're traveling at speed on highways, in heat and that sort of thing, you're going to use some oil, so it is normal. So let's get that out. Let me get a rag first. Let's have a look and see how much oil's gone missing. Okay, I'm not ready yet. I wasn't ready. I actually bumped the start button again. But anyway, just get that set up there, and then we'll try and bring it up into the picture for you. All right, yeah, you happy there? Stay there? Beautiful, okay. Rag, give me a rag. That one will do for oil. Pull it out and sit that there. Try not to drip it anywhere. Let's have a look. I mean, I'm not concerned about the cleanliness of the oil, right? Look how good that is, right? So like I said, mate, I'm the specialist here. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone else. It's just what I specialise in. I've got a lot of experience on it. Look, you know, everybody's got a different level of intelligence, I guess, and there's a lot of people smarter than me. We already know that. You know, I do okay, and I've got experience with it. So if you want to know, you know, you can learn from all my mistakes instead of making your own, right? So there's the oil level. Look at that. You would have thought I used some. Engine's just been run. Pretty much, look, I'll tell you, it's bang on the line. It sort of pulls back a little bit, but it's pretty well bang on the line. Hard to see, right? A little bit of discoloration. And you know my new rule, what I said was, with the oil changes, I said they're ripping us off. They've doubled the price of oil. I used to say 5,000K oil changes, right? And here's more evidence that you don't need that. 5,000K oil changes were great, the dirty old 1KZs, and these when you're doing shorter trips, that sort of thing. But it is getting to the point that they've doubled the price of oil, so I'm going to do oil half as often. So if you've got a nice clean EGR and a clean engine and new injectors and all that, you know what I'm saying. Your oil stays cleaner, you can do it every 10,000. Or what I said was, because I've got too many cars, I'm going to do it once a year. All my maintenance, August is maintenance month, you know. Do the tractors, do the brush cutters, do all the lawn mowers, do all the cars, do all the, everything, mate. All the machinery and equipment and cars and everything, it all gets done in August. Service week, just change all the oils. Now, the variation to that rule is, and I've just looked at the Hilux oil as well, because it hadn't run for, what, about 6-7 weeks. It was just sitting there, started up, didn't blow smoke this time, which was good. Probably because it had been operated at low speeds, thicker oil, and the oil didn't get to where it normally goes. Anyway, the oil on the Hilux was looking very clean. has all the soot in the oil settled to the bottom, possibly. So I probably should check it again, but it looked really clean. I'm definitely happy to leave that till August. That was done in August last year after our big trip the middle of last year. Happy to leave it there till then. It's probably only done a few thousand Ks. It's hard to keep track. Yeah, I could put stickers and keep records. How about you guys keep records for me? Because I don't keep records. My records are in my brain. I like to do my best to remember the important things like this. But this has done 12,500 Ks. As much as the oil could stay there for thousands more, I'm sure it's fine. Right now it's getting an oil change. It's getting an oil and filter because it's done 12,500. It got an oil and filter change about 7 weeks ago, so not long ago. Like I said, it doesn't need it, but I'm going to do oil and filter. I'm going to do the rear fuel filter because that's every 20,000. This is now on 445K, people. 445K, so it was due at 40, so it's overdue now. Try and remember that for me. The K&N filter, we've looked at all the ones in the other cars. If you've been watching, they weren't too bad. This is the lead vehicle, less dust. I'm not even going to open it up, right? So last time we looked at that, you can look at the playlist, K&N filters, air filters, or whatever other playlist I've put those videos in, or you can just go and search K&N filter, air filter, my 120 Prado service, whatever, to find the videos. I'm just looking around under the bonnet. I'm going to check the power steering level because you can't see it. We know they have that slow leak at the rack. Brake fluid's good, air filter's fine, compressor, we're going to test it. Coolant level's still bloody beautiful, perfect, look at that, nice and clean. Engine's good, we're going to do oil and filter. We've done the BFE before the trip and the fan and the radiator. We just want to make sure that's nice and clean because we did go across a salt lake and we got wet. That's why there's a lot of washing. And I'll probably have a separate video after this one. Let's have a look how well I did cleaning or not. And then I'll have a separate video telling you my process of cleaning, what products I use, what procedures, and if you like the way I do it, then you can do that. Now this fuel filter, 416K it was done at. My rule is do it straight after the big trip. Now 416, so it's done about 30,000. It was done in 2023 last year. So I'm planning to use this vehicle on another big trip this year. So I'm gonna leave it until after the next big trip. So I should carry a spare one of those on the next big trip. I should make sure my fuel transfer works after I change that fuel filter, because changing that filter, if there's any debris in there, can block the Venturi, and that can cause problems. At the moment, I've run it down to empty a number of times. It's never had a problem, this vehicle. It works. It's very rare. There's a few things you need to avoid. You just need to watch all the videos. So subscribe, turn the bell on, please, for your own good, because you don't want to miss them. Okay, battery's good. Battery connections are good. This battery's awesome. Nothing else to see here. It's all nice and clean. But you might want to have a quick look around for yourself under here. So let's have a look around and see. You know, there's no excuses. See all those stones? That's before I even got it, mate. This was the highest K, cheapest Prado I could find. I was asking for trouble when I purchased it in 2014 for about 28 grand. Anyway, right now, that was the cheapest then, okay? It owes me nothing now. But anyway, the point is, all the stains on the exhaust manifold, on that black back there, that wasn't me. Had services in Broome. It's been around the world a couple of times, maybe. No, it's been around Australia, not around the world. It was towing a caravan, absolutely thrashed with standard service. Okay, so if anything goes wrong with it, it's like no wonder we expected that, but we're making the vehicle better, and that's what I want to teach you guys to, how to make it better. There's no oil leaks, no staining, nothing, all that stuff down there. That was there when I got it. Everything I've got, it's all cleaner than it was before. We're improving the vehicle, like that crack. When I got it picked up from a Toyota dealer, I took it back for the water pump because it was leaking, because I told you they don't make it to 300. It was leaking at just under 200,000, and they cracked the fan shaft. But he said, whatever, mate. You know, sometimes you just got to get over it. Anyway, let's get it up in the air. It'll be surprising to see what's going on underneath it, and if I've done a good job cleaning from being sunk in these water mud holes and these dirty tracks and puddles, lots of tracks muddy, and these salt lake crossings on the Simpson Desert. And I just want to say I'm really impressed with how the vehicle went. What I'm going to do in this video, now I talked about the cleaning and how I did it and what I use, and we'll do another video on that. So what we're going to do on this video, for those people that hang around this long already, you must be the regulars, awesome people, thank you. Put it in the comments what you want to see more detail, things from this video, but you want more detail on, you know, like whatever it is. And if there's 2 or 3 people that say the same thing, then that's what I'll do the next video on. Fresh stuff, right? Now let's get underneath and have a look and see if I did a very good job cleaning. And of course, let's grab a couple extra lights for that, because that'll be helpful. Right now, as far as, so this has been in all the dirty places, and you're gonna see things like a bit of grease oozing out of that drive shaft, and that could, you might say, oh, you know, give us some more info on the drive shaft. How many Ks is it done? Why is it leaking? Doesn't matter, all of that. Well, it's all in the videos, but that's okay. If everybody asks the same questions, that's what we'll do the next video on, right? But let's just have a look. I'm not saying that I got everything out of these bash plates, right? Let's have a look at, should I risk it for the biscuit and have a look in there? Not too bad. I reckon this fuel tank guard up here, because it just came in, look at this. It just kept coming out and coming out and coming. I thought I washed this. It must be just full of it, right? Let's have a look. Yeah, that one's got a bit in it, right? I put a lot of water under here, man. I'm telling you, a lot of water. Yeah, I got water tanks and all that, right? We're starting to see a couple of things that I've said in videos that will let you down and the damage that can happen, right? No surprises here, but we'll go over and give the whole thing a quick check. Let's see how clean it is first. You might want to know what I use to clean it in my procedure. You might not, you know. But we'll talk about the cleaning in another video for sure. Let's just have a look and go. A few rocks I'm going to pop out of places. That fuel filter I'm talking about changing is this one up here that a lot of people don't know about. That's going to get changed today. It's going to get grease in the drive line. So all the drive line grease nipples are going to get lubricated. The oil's going to come out, you know, from that hole there. And it's actually 440, so it's due for a major service. So technically this bash plate should come off, but I've got a feeling I did the front diff for some other reason. Diff oil, I could be wrong, you know, I'm not too worried about it. So I probably won't do the front diff oil today because of time. And transmission we did before the trip, so that's, okay, clean that panties, at least I've got something, right? And that transmission and that turbo and those engine mounts, and look, it's pretty good, isn't it? It's mainly staining. We can clean a lot of the staining off, but this thing, when it's hot and they've put it through that red mud bog hole puddles around Broome somewhere, I'm guessing they got caught out in the wet, a lot of that's going to be stain. There might be a product you can get it off with, but you can see I add to it myself anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. Main thing is that it's not caked on, it's not falling off when we work on the car. Right, I don't want to be under here getting showers of dirt miles, can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, safety glasses, but yeah, you know what I mean. Right, chassis itself, you can see stains from, you know, oh, and if you watch the videos, I got a stick cord under the vehicle and look what happened, right? So I had to do a quick bodgy fix up, that's that. So I'll spend a bit more time trying to straighten that out, but it might be a matter of I'll get a price on that heat shield above the catalytic converter, because that's the one, and I might replace that, or I might just cut it off about here somewhere and go, I don't need the back bit, and get some of that stick on, you know, that heat stuff that you stick on, clean it up properly and stick that on, depending on the pricing. If it's, you know, 50 or 80 bucks, I'll get it. If they say it's 280 bucks, I'll say, mate, you're dreaming. Look at all the rock spray on front of that tank. That's what I'm talking about. If you get that on front of that tank, do you reckon you got it on the front of your shock absorbers and your monotubes? Absolutely. I mean, look at those bolts. They should tell you a story. Right, let me get that light. That tells you a story, doesn't it, on its own without anything else. It's not like it's never been off-road before, but a few bit of rock spray up at the higher end of the monotube. No big dents, which is what you want, which is why they go upside down. You can tell by the rock spray that they were protected at the bottom section until sort of recently. I'd say that's probably come off in the last week, but that's what happens. The rocks hit the zip tie, so the zip ties are gone, right? Zip tie is gone, and then the zip ties are average quality. Now, I don't zip tie the bottom because I want to be able to pull them up to have an inspection and stuff like that. It's hard to do with a torch in one hand and a camera in the other. But we will, I'll re-zip tie the top, so that's one thing I'm going to sort out today. But there's no oil leaks, right? This, I don't know, looks pretty bloody clean to me. But I've put a lot of water. I'm telling you, it just keeps coming out. Anyway, you know, a lot of people, you know what I mean, don't you? It just keeps coming out. Those bushes look good there. Transfer case we did not long ago, so I'm not going to worry about that or the transmission. I'll probably do the rear diff though, because it is due. And the other thing, of course, you want to do really important with all this, just make sure that this is still, make sure that's still kind of like that, right? Make sure that's moves up and down and all that freely. It's not caked in mud, because if that's blocked, then things can't breathe. You're going to end up with an axle seal leak, or more likely probably a pinion seal leak at the front of the diff here, right? And then you're going to go, oh. So watch the videos, because if you didn't know, it's going to save you a lot of grief. Right, any other damage here? Because I couldn't, you know, laying in the dirt and whatever. No, all the other hoses, cables, handbrake cable, everything looks all right. That's good, it's just this thing. And you know what, it's not causing any problems. dare I say it, maybe I'll just leave it like that, you know, because then I've got the protection from the heat. Just rework it, the words are rework, not bend. Rework it a little bit more. Try and get the nut. There is a nut up there somewhere, and a body washer through the hole or something. Now that it's on the hoist, much easier to work on. These bushes, they've been hammered. They're looking pretty good. 250k these arms went in, so they're getting 200,000. You can see the split just starting on the little bit of the right-hand side. So they've been looked after. See, mirror image on the left there, looked after but being hammered, right? Do you get what I mean by that, people? That's, you do the maintenance, you look after it, you keep it out of the sun, you park it in the carport, you polish it, you change your oil. That's the maintenance. You love it, the preventative maintenance, right? You love it, but then you use it. And when you use it, sometimes you sort of use it and abuse it because that's all you can really do. Now this drive shaft, I think I rebuilt and made a good one out of 2 dodgy ones. So I don't know how many Ks it's done now. I'd have to think too hard. My brain might hurt. Could do with some paint as well. Yeah, a bit of paint would look good. This one over here is the one that I broke in the high country, being silly with a front lock, a full lock really flexed up, and should have never have done it, and broke the outer for the first and only front Prado CV I've ever seen or heard of broken. So congratulations me. And this was just a spare I had in the workshop of customers that he changed them as prevention at 260k, which is cool. But I just needed a drive shaft, and it was probably the weekend, and so I just grabbed one and chucked it in. So I got another spare one there for another day, but I'll probably leave it there and prove the point that even with grease oozing out like that, it's had water in there. You can see it's grey. That means there's been water in there. See the colour of the grease? There's enough in there to lubricate it. Let's see how long it lasts for. Once again, going by the videos, we'll remember how many Ks and what year that was that date went in there. But it's actually looking pretty good. Everything's actually looking pretty good, isn't it? Other than, you know, we've got a bit of bush in here, you know. There's probably a bit of stuff we can still clean out. Things like that. Right. But in there, actually not too bad in there. Look at that. It's pretty clean, isn't it? So that's, I said, a lot of water. Now I'll tell you just quickly before we wrap this one up. So that's what I told you what I'm going to do. Oil and filter, rear fuel filter, lube the drive line, and then it's time for another wash, I'm thinking, before we do anything else. And maybe some paint. But what I did, I used the hose at Birdsville. There's a hose there, big hose, like a fire hose, lots of pressure, nice and warm. Lots of water and lots of pressure, that's what you want, but not too much pressure in the wrong places. We've talked about that before. You don't want to force water in the wrong places, e.g. in here past a seal into your bearing, and same with, you know, other things like your transfer case is a common one. You know, people get a lot of mud and stuff. Flicks, look, see all this rock spray is here where it hasn't been painted yet. Right, what else flicks up here? Mud flicks to right here. They chuck the pressure washer in and they push all the mud straight in there, past that cover plate, past the seal, and cause a leak. And not too bad to change it, but hey, it's better if you don't have to change it, right? This fuel cooler up here, it was caked in mud and everything. I just cleaned that off yesterday. So a little bit more cleaning. So I used the hose up there, then I came back, gave it a quick wash in around the wheel arches, general car wash. Came up pretty good. And then the next wash was getting underneath, not with a pressure washer, with the hose, because too much pressure. And you can't point a pressure washer straight up there like that unless you've got a 90-degree head on it. And you can't see what you're doing. So you need to pick a warm day. You need to get under it. You need to spray the hose up here, which is what I've done. And I thought I put a lot of water up here, but not enough by the looks of that, right? So it's going to be happening again because I want it all out. And I'm sure you do too in your vehicle. And after that was done, and I thought that I had 95% of it out, which could be true, but who knows. Always keep those clean too, people. Keep those clean. Clean them up. You can spray some spray grease on it, put a rag around it so it doesn't go everywhere, and just spray it on the joint. They're non-serviceable. It helps if you can try and get some grease in there, a bit of spray grease. So there's a tip. You hang around, you just pick up these little things you might have missed from another video. But then I brought it in and gave it another big full wash. And you know those spray bottle you put on the end of your pressure washer? Little bit of truck wash type. I'll show you the products in another video. And you know, the foams up and that, sprayed all the wheel arches, the car, front and back sides and all of that. And it is under here as much as I could, but to be honest, I'm not going to really worry too much about what brands and what I use because it doesn't look like it's done too much. Like it's, you know, water, letting it soak and a bit of pressure in the right places is what cleans. You can get under there with a brush, of course. You know, those $2, $2.50 Australian-made blue Geelong brush dustpans you get at Bunnings. I think they were $2 at Bunnings, $2.50. You can get them at Woolworths, about $2.50. It's all you need to pay because all the other ones are crap and they fall to pieces. and they're about closer to $10, so don't get ripped off. Tell the missus as well. Dust pens, the blue one, Geelong brush, are about $2. That's all you need to pay. Bunnings, I think, was the cheapest. Probably gone up anyway. Let me know in the comments if you got one recently. All the suspension's good, so nothing has really let the vehicle down. I'll check for play. I'll do all the usual checks that we do, as we talk about in other videos. Enough waffling in this one, right? So I'll check the comments after this video comes out, and we'll see what else we can make a video and talk about for you. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, you know, I mean, look at the rock spray. There's no shortage of it. That's all off the front tyres. Hopefully you're impressed as I am. At least I got all the most of the mud out of that cross member too. There's K-on, those little things, so that you don't bend that part. You know, they supply these, right? So something else you can get from K-on. Fuel tank protection. Looks like it hits something up there too. So there you go, that worked. See that? So something's gone boof, and that's pretty high up. So, you know, as much as this one hasn't had a lot of punishment since I've had it compared to the original fuel tank guard, but then again, you probably wouldn't notice it, would you? But all the nuts are there. You got to check all your nuts and bolts for all your bash plates. Make sure they're all there. Give them a hit. Like, you know, you can hear that one's solid. All your bolts are there because they do vibrate loose. They all need to be all checked all over again. All right, I'm going to go and do this stuff. Catch you in the next video.